Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakahakodash. Double honor to my apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bukharim, the house of David, has been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation, Yasha'Allah. I want to go into a lesson on what I was watching from the apostles, or the apostle Ramla, and he was going into all out apostasy on the truth. Edifying video. Subscribe if you haven't and be edified. Now I got the definition of apostasy, which he brought out, and sum it all up, it means to go away from what's already established as a standard. And you have individuals that have learned from this truth. They have learned from the apostle elders, and now they're switching up the doctrine. Okay, so we're going to get this definition of this word apostasy. And it says, apostasy is the act of abandoning or renouncing a religious faith, belief system, or a political ideology, especially one that a person formally committed to or publicly identified with. So the act of abandoning or renouncing a religious faith, what's already been established. And if you go into that etymology of the word, which I have, you can get it right here in the etymon online, revolt, defection, renunciation, abandonment, or neglect of established religion. So these individuals, they have switched up the doctrine already, what's been taught from the elders, and either it was by taking the bag, they done so, which I want to go into, because these organizations, these individuals who have set up their own groups, IUIC, IACPK, Sakari, they are under a 501c plan. Now, IACPK, I'm not for sure, so I don't want to just say that out there. They are, but they aren't. Correct me. But I know IUIC and I know for sure Sakari. And now I want to get into what is a 501c and how it all ties into the correlation of apostasy. So, a 501c, and we're going to sum it all up. It's not going to take long. Getting 501c, this is from ChatGPT. Getting 501c3, I said C3, okay. Getting 501c3 status doesn't automatically mean an organization receives money. Because I asked it. When organizations get a 501c3, I put 3C, but it's C3, do they receive money? Okay. So this is based on what I asked it. All right, so first let me just get what a 501c3 is, and then we can go to that. 501c, the exempt purposes set forth in Section 501c3 are charitable, religious, educational, scientific, literary, testing for public safety, fostering national or international amateur sports competition, and preventing cruelty to children or animals. Okay. Now, I asked, do they receive money? And it says 501c3 status doesn't automatically mean an organization receives money, but it does open the door to several funding opportunities. One of them is tax exempt status. A 501c3 is exempt from federal income taxes, which helps the organization keep more of the money it raises. Eligibility of grants. Many foundations, corporations, and government agencies will only give grants to organizations with 501c3 status. So they do receive some type of funding from, like it says, if they're set up as an organization, they will get some type of funding. All right, from these different government agencies or corporations. Donations, individuals and businesses are more likely to donate because their contributions are tax deductible. Fundraising, it's easier to raise money through events, crowdfunding, or campaigns when you can prove you're a legit nonprofit. All right. So while the IRS doesn't hand you a check when you get 501c3, it definitely helps you attract funding. Now, I ask, um, do you think a 501c3 is an example of apostasy in a way? All right. Now, here's a breakdown from a biblical or Hebrew Israelite perspective. Accepting 501c3 status means the organization is aligning itself with the U.S. government and its rules, especially the restrictions on political speech or certain teachings that might contradict government agendas. In other words, to keep a 501c3 so you can get some type of funding, you have to take away from the word. You can't preach the gospel in its entirety. So you're actually taking away. You're actually diminishing the doctrine. The apostle elder of Ramblab, he was going into it how these guys, they take the bag, the love of money, or whatever idol they make as their god. And that's a lot of these organizations, these Hebrew Israelite camps that's not teaching the word correctly, that have their own agenda. Again, they all have a 501c3, which can accept some type of funding, money. And they all have switched up the doctrine. They diminish the truth. Okay? Whether it's by the name, not teaching the name, which the true name is Yahweh. That's the Most High's name, and his only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai. Or they don't teach the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Or they say you can have sex on the Sabbath. What else? The Apostle Paul's words are not the word of God. This is all coming out of their own belly. This is all diminishing the truth. Okay? And that's because they have taken the bag, or they have their own proud, they're very proud, they have a proud spirit, and they think that they have the truth. And really, ultimately, they want to stay here in America. They want to profit in this place when America is about to be destroyed. Like Sakari said, or Alazar, he said this place can be destroyed in, he said, anytime from now to 1,000 years, which is nonsense. But that's because he wants to stay in this place and profit in America. Okay? It says, some believe that by doing so, churches or congregations might compromise their ability to preach truth freely, especially if it goes against mainstream norms, example, teachings about the law, judgment, prophecy, or the government itself. In that sense, it could be seen as apostasy, a turning away from fully following the Most High in order to gain financial benefits or protection from man-made systems. All right? Others might say it's just a tool for organizations and that what matters is how it's used. Yeah, BS. It really boils down to is an organization compromising its message or obedience to the Most High to remain in good standing with the government. And that's what they're doing. They are compromising this truth in order to receive goodies. All right? They're compromising this truth. Being in a apostasy spirit, revolting, diminishing this doctrine, what was already established, ordained by the Most High, and He set up His teachers on this earth, starting with the elder apostles all the way on down. This doctrine has already been established, declared, and they're trying to switch it up all for gain, whether it's financially or to be the top guy. It's a proud spirit. That's what it is. And it's no coincidence that they have a 501c3. Because, again, in order to have one, you can't say certain things. You can't teach about the name. You can't teach about go so hard on Esau Edom. Notice these people, they never really go so hard on Esau Edom or America getting nuked. They never really go into that. Ultimately, the names or the mark of the beast, they never really drive that point in. They might mention, like Sakari, the mark of the beast, they have the name, but they don't really drive that in. So it goes to show you that they have been compromised. Now let's get 1 Timothy 4, verse 15 to 16. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Here's a point. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. See? Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and I want to get 1 Timothy 4 NLT version. Just curious what it says. It says, keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. Stay true to what is right for the sake of your own salvation and salvation of those who hear you. Right. So keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. And these guys are being exposed. They don't teach the right doctrine. And they're doing a lot of folly. I mean, it's Elazar, for example. That dude's a sodomite. And these other camps, they're diminishing the truth, all in all. They don't have it, okay? And again, it's because they've been compromised, and ultimately, they've been blinded. They've been truly blinded, and they can't see it. Now you have some sincere members in there that might be part of the elect, and they'll come out of it. And now is the time to come out of it if you're hearing this message. Now is the time to truly stand for Yahweh Bashmashah and teach the right doctrine. And go out there and teach it. If you have to get yourself away from the group that you're in to teach the right doctrine, do it swiftly. Because we're at the end. So I want to get this definition of apostasy, and do they receive money as a 501c3? So Lord willing, it was edifying. So on to the next one. Shalom.